electric trucks fulfill their promise? My guest is Mike Chaffins. He is Vice President Supply Chain with Xos Trucks. Hi, Mike.
Hello, Bob.
Thank you for being with me today. I appreciate it. Just in general, I wonder if you could tell me what areas of transportation manufacturing you see right now that are being hit hardest at the moment by the various supply chain challenges that we're encountering.
Good question, Bob. That is actually everyone. You're seeing the impact across the board from people like Amazon and Walmart to the local small businesses. There's not anyone that's being touched. All you have to do is turn on the news every night, and you'll hear supply chain. I guarantee it.
Only getting worse too, with the situation in Ukraine, shutting down access to valuable, if not essential parts that go in trucks and the like. So that also, you think, is affecting truck manufacturing?
Yes, even things like neon, which is
Right.
mined in Ukraine, is having an impact. Every country has a resource that feeds into the supply chain from every continent, from Africa to Asia to US or North America, South America. Every continent has an impact, and they produce raw materials that are vital throughout the supply chain. So any impact in any country will have a ripple effect throughout the entire supply base.
Which leads me to ask you about the most sophisticated aspect of trucking technology today for the future, and that is the coming of electric trucks. What will it take to clear the way for electric trucks to really take hold and become a big deal on roads in the future?
Another good question, Bob. It'll take time. It'll take time for people to understand electric vehicles. It'll take time for them to adopt them. We also have to put the infrastructure in place to surround these vehicles. We're getting there step by step. It's a very slow process. It took every change that happens throughout history takes time, and we're going to get there, but it'll take a lot of companies coordinating very well, seamlessly, working with governments around the world, and to make this happen, we need everyone involved.
When you say infrastructure, do you mean inbound infrastructure into manufacturing facilities, or do you mean aftermarket infrastructure in the form of charging facilities and stations? Combination of both? What exactly are we talking about here?
I think it's a combination of both, but in particular, what I was speaking on is the infrastructure surrounding the vehicles afterwards. So this will be your stations, your electric chargers, your hydrogen chargers, stations that have these in place so that the normal customer will see an electric vehicle just like an ICE vehicle, that you're getting it filled at the same intervals and rates at the same time, when quicker charging, so that it takes about the same time as it does to fill up your gasoline tank when you go to the pump. That's what humans want to see, and I think we're getting closer every day to achieving that, both on the hydrogen and the electric sides. Both of those two forces are working simultaneously to happen throughout the world.
Well, now, wait a minute. That's a rather remarkable statement if you're saying we're trying to get to that point where it takes as long to charge a truck or a car as it does to put gas in it. Right now, even a passenger vehicle could take upwards of an hour to be fully charged, depending on whether it's a supercharging station or not. I can only imagine that trucks would take even more. I don't know, but we're not there yet in terms of speed of charging, are we?
We're getting there, actually. There are some superchargers out there that can charge trucks and cars at a remarkable speed. Are they at where the same time it takes to fill up with gasoline or diesel? Not yet, but we will get there. That's what's most important. Think about it as a truck driver. Time is money, payload is money. So those are the two things that we need to tackle from the commercial vehicle side to become winners in that area.
Certainly a driver doesn't want to count their hours of service as sitting around at a truck stop for an hour waiting for the truck to charge. So that is a big issue. Truck stops would seem to be the natural place to put them, but I'm also wondering about range. Right now, how far could a big rig go on a single charge? It's probably no more than a couple hundred miles, right?
Yeah, there's different use cases. So different, that some commercial vehicles will go from point A to point B and have a standard route that they'll take every day. They leave in the morning, follow the exact same stops every day, and return at night. And those are very good use cases for short and medium ranges. And so you can have a smaller battery package that supports those two models. Then when you go into the very long range, get up to several hundred miles, 600 miles or upwards, those are going to need hydrogen. Hydrogen is more suited for a very long range vehicle, where electric can serve the medium and smaller range vehicles.
What is the progress of hydrogen powered vehicles? Do we have prototypes on the road in the same way that, we have plenty of electric cars right now out there. Do we have any hydrogen powered prototypes that we can look at to see how they're doing?
Yes, you see both, electric and hydrogen trucks, cars throughout. A lot of them have not hit the mainstream yet, but there's many companies that are working on both of these technologies, including my own company is on the electric side. And so we are working very hard to show our use case, and have been very successful so far with our particular customers.
Do we need to make more advances in battery technology, the batteries that are longer lasting, or are the ones that are already in existence sufficient for the purpose?
Yes, energy density is key. And that is very important because, as I mentioned earlier, payload and time are the two most important things to a fleet or a truck driver. So the payload, with very heavy batteries, for every pound you're adding battery is a pound you're taking away from their payload.
Yeah.
So that is extremely important. Energy density, we got to make sure that each one of the batteries is holding an amount of energy that is useful for that particular use case, for that particular truck use. So if we can conquer both of those and introduce lighter weight, higher energy density batteries, then it's going to be a winner for all of us in this area.
You say are you confident that will occur?
Yes, I think it will, but it'll take some time. There's a lot of new technologies out there, from different types of structures or different types of linings that they use in different cells to for solid state batteries. There's so many new technologies that are coming out, but they just haven't been adopted yet. But they'll be there. It's everything is supply and demand and money. So people know what the need is. So there'll be some company out there in the battery industry, I know, that will come up with this cutting edge technology that will be adopted in the future and reduce the weight of vehicles and reduce and increase the amount of miles that each vehicle will be able to go on a charge.
Given the phenomenon right now that we're experiencing, rising oil prices, which of course means rising diesel prices as well, do you think that trend will accelerate the progress of electric and hydrogen powered trucks?
I think short term, yes. Everything goes up and down. So as gasoline goes up, people will shift towards electric. But it's a short term situation with oil. It will go back down when things calm down in the world. But we just need to position ourselves as electric to be compatible, and outdo the gasoline engine. That's our competition. And people always ask, who our competition is for the particular company I'm at. I don't mention another competitor. I mention ICE and diesel. Those are our competitors. So as long as we can equal and better ourselves in those versus that technology, then we will all be winners. There's plenty of room in our industry for many electric car makers, many electric commercial vehicle makers, because we're such a small percentage right now. We need each other. Why do we need each other? So we can build the infrastructure. We need each other, just like the early trains did in the early days. They needed each other to form the track infrastructure so that they could connect. We need to do the same thing within our industry with electric chargers and hydrogen stations.
You point
industry.
you point out that fuel prices do go up and down, but we certainly hope that progress toward these new sources of power don't go up and down. We hope that they continue to rise even as fuel prices go down. You would think that the industry would want to continue to embrace this new technology in anticipation of future spikes in oil. So the future, as far as you're concerned, you sound pretty optimistic to me that we're going to see something in what, I don't know, 5 years, 3 years, 10 years. I mean, do you have any idea? Could you speculate?
I know I've heard as I meet with different companies and they tell me the technologies they're working on. I would say I wish I had a crystal ball, but yeah, I think in the next 5 to 10 years you will see some cutting edge technologies that do reduce the weight and increase the energy density, thus giving us better range and more customers throughout our commercial vehicle and passenger car industries.
Mike Chaffins of Xos Trucks, thank you so much for taking these few minutes with me to talk about the future of electric trucks, hydrogen trucks, and just the whole truck manufacturing supply chain right now and the challenges that it faces. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you having me.